Hi, Smithtown Gospel Tabernacle family. Pastor Scott here. I want to talk to you today from Matthew chapter 25, beginning of verse 14. I want to talk to you about success. So let's just quickly read this. Matthew chapter 25, beginning of verse 14, very familiar passage of Scripture. Again, it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted his property to them. To one he gave 5 talents of money, to another 2 talents, and to another 1 talent, each according to his ability. Then he went on his journey. The man who had received the 5 talents went at once and put his money to work and gained 5 more. So also the one with the 2 talents gained 2 more, but the man who had received the 1 talent went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. After a long time, the master of those servants returned and settled accounts with them. The man who had received the 5 talents brought the other 5. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 5 talents. See, I have gained 5 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share in your master's happiness. The man with the 2 talents also came. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 2 talents. See, I have gained 2 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. Then the man who had received the 1 talent came. Master, he said, I knew that you were a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown, and gathering where you have not scattered seed. So I was afraid and went out and hid your talent in the ground. See, here is what belongs to you. His master replied, you wicked, lazy servant. So you knew that I harvest where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed. Well then, you should have put my money on deposit with the bankers, so that when I returned, I would have received it back with interest. Let me just ask a couple of questions. What is a home run? Now, we all know what it is in baseball, right? A few years ago, when I first came to SGT, the pastoral staff, pastor had us all read a book, and in that book, it asked the question, what is a home run? And what it's saying is, when you're doing your ministry or in your life, what is success? So here's the question, not just what is a home run, but in the game of your life, what does God say is a home run? Too often, even in the church, we judge ourselves and others by what I consider, or what I call, a Wall Street standard of success. It's usually about numbers of followers, fame, and financial gain. Like I said, even in the church. But what does God say? Well, let's look at this parable again. I want you to notice something. Yes, he gave to one 5 talents, to the other 2 talents, and to the last one he gave 1 talent. But look what it says. He gave each according to his ability. Now, this man was, his leadership was to empower and to release. He knew what they were capable of. He knew they were at different levels of capability, and so he gave to them based on what they were capable of and what he knew that they could do if they poured their hearts into it. He distributed those talents, but then he had high expectations. So here's the thing that I want to drive home for us today. Success in the eyes of the world means that if someone on my left is very successful and has a lot of money, then I'm not successful until I have a lot of money. If someone over on my right is successful because they have a lot of followers, then I'm not successful until I have a lot of followers. But that's based on someone else's decision about what is success. But in the spiritual realm, success is whatever pleases God. God has given to each one of us a calling. He's given us gifts, and he has put us, and he's willing to place us in an atmosphere or a sphere of influence where we can be successful at what he has called us to do. Not successful based on what someone else says it's success, but successful in the sense that when God comes by and says, "What have you done with what I gave you?" And we're able to say, "Master, I did the best that I could." Maybe we'll be able to report that we doubled our talents. Maybe we'll be able to say it was a little bit of gain. Maybe we'll say I did my best, but it seems like I didn't do well at all. The point is did we do what God asked us and called us to do? God's pleasure is the reward. God's pleasure is a home run. It's not about whether someone near you has 5 talents worth of success or someone near you has 1 talent's worth of success. It's about what God says he's called you to do, and it's about us stepping out and doing whatever God asks us to do and being satisfied, not with the world's standard of success, but satisfied when God says, "Well done, you did what I asked you to do. Leave the fruitfulness to me. Leave the outcome to me." Well, I hope that encourages someone. Read through that parable of the talents in Matthew chapter 25, beginning verse 14. And in the future, if I have the opportunity, there's so much more I'd love to share with you along those lines. God bless you. I hope this helped somebody today.